happened a short 14,000 years ago. The last ice age ended, and in geological terms, that's yesterday, right? The last ice age ended, and of course there were all those glaciers up in Montana and British Columbia, you know, and they're up there grinding up the mountains and, you know, doing their thing that glaciers do. Well, as the ice age is melting and all that water starts coming down, there was a spot where there was a mountain range and a big ravine, and that ravine was filled up with a glacier, so it created this enormous dam, and then a lake started building up, and it twice or plus bigger than Lake Superior. Enormous volumes of water covering parts of Montana and Idaho, going up into British Columbia. I mean, massive amounts of water. And at that one dam where that glacier filled that ravine, after a while all of a sudden the pressure became so great it lifted up that glacier. Now you need to use your imagination. A wall of water, 500 feet tall, so a 50-story building, miles wide, went rushing out from there and traveling at 50 miles an hour from up in Idaho all the way down here, all the way out to the Pacific Ocean.
Wow.
Carrying untold volumes of stuff that the glaciers had been grinding up. You know, dust all the way to big boulders, stuff, huge boulders, you know, frozen in ice floating down the river. It was just, they believe, the largest floods ever to occur on the face of the earth. Well, at the dam, the pressure released, the glacier settled back down in that gorge, the lake filled up again. And the cycle repeated about every 75 years for about 1,000, 1,200 years. So you had these enormous floods rushing down the Columbia and then stopping. So the soils that we have, you know, and the waters didn't come up this high, they came up to the valley floor down there. But as the floods receded, everything dried out. The finest particles would float to the top as they do. The wind would pick it up and blow it up into the hills. So we have here anywhere from 15 to 100 feet of this wind-blown soil. Extremely mineral rich, great for woody plants. If you look around and see nurseries and hazelnut farms, things that it's not particularly fertile, but it's very mineral rich and makes for interesting stuff. What's very cool that I learned from neighbors is that this was a coastal redwood forest. And the dust got blown up into the hills and completely covered the entire redwood forest. So we're standing on top of what used to be a redwood forest.
What?
And I know that because two of my neighbors were drilling for wells and brought up big chunks of redwood when they were doing it.
Wow. That's insane.
But I'm telling you this story because the soils are unique.